So hey everybody, good afternoon, evening. It's about 5:30 on Wednesday, April 30th. I think that's the date. I just got up here to Stover's Dam Park. There's a lake here, and from what I saw online, it looks to be a really nice walk around a lake. And I just got here, and there's a couple families out there, some people fishing. I had to look around for a place to start filming because it's so super sunny. I just kept getting this bad sunlight on the screen. But anyway, I'm going to try to find the trail here and we'll get started. So this is the parking lot. I'm over here under the trees to get out of the sunlight a little bit. Some beautiful pine trees here. It looks like a really nice shady family park. Looks like there's a couple things to see and do. And before I get on the paved trail that goes around the lake, I like to go over here. Looks like there's a pier to look out over the lake. People fishing over there. Looks really pretty. And hopefully this will be a nice walk. Alright, so right up from that is the actual trail. It's sort of paved. I saw in some of the other videos I watched that there's parts of it that aren't paved, or I don't know what this is, gravel. Anyway, I'd get away from over there. I wanted to look at the lake more, but the two people fishing were giving me the side eye because I guess they thought I was filming them. But here I am over here already. I see the infamous ducks / geese. I don't know if you can pick them up on there. It's kind of, they're swimming away from the video camera. So here we go. There it is. A little closer. It's really kind of happy to see that there weren't too many people here. I always get a little weird about filming when there's other people around. Not that I'm shy, but I just feel weird, like, I don't know. So it also looks like there's a couple of little trails or paths off to the side. Don't think I'm going to do that today because I'm short on time. You know, starting at 5:30 in the evening is not ideal, but it's what I have. But you're so far, I mean, I guess the whole way around you're walking right alongside the lake. Lots of birds. It has a weird smell though. Not sure what that is. Maybe it's duck poop. I don't know. I don't see any though on the trail yet. So first thing, I came across this. I don't know what this is. It's a little cement or concrete thing in the ground here. Let me tell you what I do kind of know about this area, and that's just from, you know, watching some videos last night and looking up some stuff online. It used to be owned by one family, I think the Light family, and then there was another one that bought it, I believe. And then eventually it was turned into this park, and it has a history of being a feeder dam for the Union Canal. And I do want to do the Union Canal Tunnel Trail in the future. Apparently there was an incident last year here that was in the news where they found a 14 or 15-year-old boy face down in the lake. And there was an investigation, but I didn't see any results of that investigation. So there was that. Another YouTuber had been watching a great horned owl here that was nesting. And that was back in, I don't know, 2013, I think. So aside from the usual information for the public about the recreation and that kind of thing, I did find those two articles or videos. This goes by a cemetery, and apparently there's two members of the Blue-Eyed Six in that cemetery. I forget what they were, but I'll have to look it up and put it on the screen. And there's a nature barn, and you're allowed to camp here. They have 7 tent spots and I guess some RV place spots. I guess a lot of people do fishing, you know, in the lake. You can hear I'm approaching something that's probably the main center of Duck City. A lot of trees marked with X's. I guess they're going to take them down. Across the lake there, I saw a couple people on the other side of the lake jogging, so probably a popular spot for that. There's quite a few geese or ducks along the path here. People walking their dogs. Not sure if I want to go down there. I've heard tell of these geese being aggressive. And in fact, this one's kind of shady. It's walking towards me, almost inviting me to go ahead and challenge him. Yeah, I'm still going past him and he's still walking towards me. There he is. It's like keeping an eye on me, grazing a little bit. These are some large birds, actually. I totally didn't expect that. Right up here is a pavilion, and I think when I came in, I passed the nature barn. Not sure if this is it or not. Yeah, it looks like that says the Lebanon Community Theater. Oh, so that's not the nature barn yet. That's the community theater. It's part of the park. Up here, it's a culvert. Let's take a look at that, and a cute little bridge. Another parking area up here. So we have an off-road bicycle trail somewhere here. I don't know. I guess maybe they're referring to this actual trail. This trail is only about 1.5 miles around. It's very flat. And so it would be a nice place to take your kids, or, you know, someplace to go if you didn't have a lot of time and you just wanted to see some beautiful water. Get outside and get some fresh air. Ooh, coming up on more ducks. Now, these are small ones. They don't care that I'm here. A little path here off to the right. I'm gonna go down here and see what kind of views we have. Oh, I see a mama goose or duck. I guess it's a goose with a long neck. It's really hard sometimes to tell. I guess there's some mixed duck geese here, but it looks like actually there's 2, maybe some mom and dad, but there's definitely a baby there with them. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I imagine they're going to be pretty protective of that little gosling or duckling. Got some beautiful little, I think they're violets here. Seeing them a lot on trail lately, among other wildflowers. This is the time of the year for all that. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer or different angle here on this little gosling. I always think they're so cute, but I don't want to disturb the family. You see him? He's walking there in the middle of his mom and dad, and they're just walking alongside the lake. Look at him. He's so cute. Little baby gosling. They're going to be wanting to cross the path up here, I guess, to give them some room here. I don't want to disturb them at all. And what I was hoping to find or see is some turtles. And look, I found one down here. Let me get down here and get a better visual. So he's right there in the middle of the screen, sunning himself on a log in the water. Cute little feller. So person out there on this little boat fishing in the lake. It's the first one I've seen out there so far. I don't know, there is this very strange smell. But the thing is, because I would think it would just be maybe duck poop, but it's every now and then. You know, it might go for a couple yards and then just disappear. So I'm not real sure what that is. It's very unpleasant though, I will tell you. Here on the other side, there's where I parked over there. There's the dock where those two people were fishing. I'm not doing a very good job of holding the camera steady today. There's that smell again. So today I woke up and I knew I had some time and the weather was beautiful, but still it was really hard for me to get myself out of the house. And one of the things, the other tricks that I use to trick myself into getting outdoors is to ask myself what I would be doing instead. And usually the answer is nothing but puttering around the house, finding frivolous tasks to do, and basically wasting my time, and then eventually just going in my bedroom and watching Netflix for a few hours till I get to work. So, you know, that usually gets my butt in gear to get outside and actually do something constructive with my day. It's kind of cool. It says Park Police Office. I doubt that is still in use. But there's a porta potty beside it, and there's a bench. We're walking alongside some residential homes. Noisy little doggy. There's a lot of these little benches, although some of them, it's like, what can you see there? But I don't know. It's still nice, you know, because sometimes I've noticed that people that are in recovery from various types of surgery, or maybe a recovery from an illness, they need and want to get outside in their recovery and walk on a trail, but a lot of the trails are too rough for them. But a trail like this, where you have the option to sit down and it's very flat, is a nice solution to that. So we're coming up to this bridge, which I do believe is a bridge that goes across the dam. There's two plaques. I know one is just plaques for dedications and contributions made to saving the dam. So we do have to turn here to go across the bridge. There's some people walking towards me. There's baseball fields and all that out there. So this was apparently the feeder dam. You see they have little grates over those stones there. And down there's the dam. Looks pretty stagnant, but I do hear water running, so I see that you can go down here if you walk down the hill. So let's go to do that. And there's the water running down. I'll have to get some on the way back up. I thought I would be able to see more of the water down here, but continues in this little stream here is, I imagine, what was feeding the Union Canal Dam, or vice versa. I'm not real skilled with that kind of stuff, you know. I ought to be. I go out enough. It looks real pretty back there. You can't really get a good picture here, I imagine, unless you're 7 feet tall. But this is through the wire fence here. There you go. So now I'm wondering, because the smell is really strong here, I'm wondering if it's not just something coming off of the water, off the lake and such. It could be, because that stuff down there, sitting there, looks pretty gnarly. The other side of the little bridge here. And walk down from up there. There's a little path and a couple little wooden steps in the embankment. But ew, scum. Doesn't smell here though. I don't know. This is confounding. Here's where it goes over. And as the day goes on, I see that more and more people are coming to the park. Probably because it's a little cooler out. More ducks swimming around. Park definitely does not lack ducks and geese. Oh, God. And so right after that dam bridge is the cemetery I was talking about. Unfortunately, again, it's gated. I imagine you can go in from another entrance though. You can still hear the traffic, which kind of does suck, but take what you can get. Looks like a pretty large cemetery though. Yeah, when I just remembered from earlier, I was looking up so much information last night, but the original family sold it to a guy named Stoever, and that's where the dam gets its namesake. I don't know why my brain just doesn't hold on to information sometimes. Very industrious woodpecker. Boy, he's a loud one. I don't see him yet, but he sure is noisy. Oh, there he is. Let's see if I can... Oh, he moved around to the other side of the tree. I see him. He's a little thing. See, now, that irks me way more than graffiti. I don't know why. I guess, you know, some people would say you could pick it up and throw it away and graffiti's on there pretty much permanently. But it's just so rude. If you're going to bring your pet along and they're going to be, you know, along the trail, and you think enough to bring a bag, don't just leave it sit there. That's just nasty. So right beside the cemetery here, I see, I don't know if they're remnants of something. They're little iron poles coming up. There's a little small culvert, big piece of concrete, and this little boardwalk or something on the path here. And also right here there are two poles, one with still some iron work on it. Gotta wonder if it was part of the Union Canal thing. Big open field up here, not sure what it's for. There's some stakes and flags on it. This goes down by the lake. Whoa. Not sure what that was. I think a duck just took a dive into the water. There's a hole. Looks like it goes down pretty deep. It's right on the trail. Not sure what animal that would be for, or if it was man-made. There's another mama with her babies. Lots of life here. I guess that's an invader. Get away from my babies. Predators in the wild. Oh, look at those two out on the lake. Oh, I missed it. It looked like they were kissing. The two geese. The babies are so cute. I wish I could get out zoom in more, and I don't want to upset Mama. But look at them. Mama is still aggravated. And there's her little babies rushing back over. Fierce Mama. There's those two lovebirds, or yeah, I guess they would be birds, out in the middle of the lake. Over here are the perpetrators. Don't know what they would want. Are they trying to hurt the little ducklings, or I don't know. It's the first honeysuckle I'm seeing this year so far. I mean, I haven't been looking for it, but normally I smell it, but this is just a little, I think this is, yeah. The robin just sitting there. I've seen lots of different types of birds. I have a robin, really pretty bird there too, that lives in a nest right outside my door in my carport. But darn if that thing doesn't fly away every single time I get my camera out to get a picture. There's a little side path here, and I just kind of wondered what it went to, and I see there's something concrete over here. Let's check it out. There we go. I found a little way to get through. It looked like there was a lot of thorns, but it wasn't. This is the other side, I think, of the culvert, which is, yeah, here we go. Almost like a little offshoot water area. Oh, that's kind of cool, huh? I decided to go on this little side path for a few. It's like a nice little grove back here. Very shady. Over there you see there's some benches. This might be my favorite part so far. It's quiet. No one's back here. Not sure exactly where it goes, how it ends, but it is a beautiful little grove. There's some more that goes back that way, but I'm just going to head back this way, which goes toward the trail. Again, the lightly graveled trail. Just because I see a little sign up here. And maybe that sign will have some interesting information on it. I don't know. Aha. This must be the backside of the nature barn. I see a little garden there, and a fountain. But there's a little plaque up here I want to get up to. So this is a whole different trail, but part of the park, I guess. It says the Charles Huber Trail. 1915 to 1993, Charles Henry Huber. There's some cool benches here with, I see some tile work in them. Over here is the fountain. I guess it's not a fountain though. Actually, it's a planter with some tile work on it. Very creative. And, oh, here's the park map. So apparently there's different memorials in here. Wolf Memorial, Schultz Memorial, and where I'm at, the Huber Trail. There's the nature barn, Butterfly Garden, Remembrance Garden, Peg's Pavilion, Lebanon Valley, Sertoma Club Pavilion, and camping by permit only. See some tents over here on the map. Looks like some pretty little tile artwork there. Okay, this is a road, so let's see where we have to go to get back on that gravel trail here. So just an FYI, you can't go through the woods to get back to the trail there. You have to go back the way you came in, where there was that little offshoot. Or you could take the road walk back, but I'm just going to go back out the way I came in. Some more goslings. There's quite a bit of them in this park. I guess it's the time of year. All the mommies and daddies guarding their flock. Very cute. So I took my time on that trail. It's now close to 7. Nice little park. Wasn't buggy like I expected. So it is so hard to get a good angle this time of day and where I'm parked. I would say, you know, there is that smell. I don't really know what it is. Okay, so I decided to close out the video at home rather than in the parking lot since I just couldn't get away from all that sunlight. It's a nice little park. There's a lot of ducks, there's a lot of geese. I saw a turtle, I saw some squirrels, a lot of people walking their dogs, riding their bike, kids playing in the pond, lake, although there was a lot of scum, so I really wouldn't recommend that or letting your children do that. I did enjoy, you know, watching the geese and stuff play amongst each other, and especially the little goslings and stuff. I extended the 1.5 mile loop into a 2 mile loop, adding on that Charles Huber trail at the end in the Grove. But it was a really nice way to get out and enjoy the day. The weather is so much nicer now, and you know, it's good to get out and get some fresh air every day and a little bit of exercise. So I'm glad I was able to push myself out the door to do that. I hope you all are enjoying your week. Namaste.